So let's go ahead and have a seat and kind of get tuned in. Just taking a moment to find a straight aligned spine. Shoulders are relaxed. Head is balanced on top of the spine. Close your eyes. Take a really deep breath in through your nose. Big exhale through your mouth. And take the opportunity to truly check in with everything going on physically. So noticing all the parts that feel good, along with anything that might be asking for your attention this morning. And then let's start breathing a little slower, a little deeper. Notice any thought patterns. Notice any emotions. Here we go again. Sorry about that, guys. This seems to be a regular occurrence. I'm not sure what's up with Zoom. My apologies. Hopefully you are still seated, checking in with thought patterns, checking in with emotions, checking in with your energy. And then let's go ahead and set an intention for practice. So bring palms together in front of the heart. Just take a moment to be really clear about what you need from your practice this morning. And take a deep breath in. Big exhale through the mouth. We're going to go ahead and start in downward facing dog. So spread your fingers and just step your feet back. Pedal the feet a little bit if you need to. Move the torso if you need to. Just take a few breaths here. And then from your down dog, just slowly walk your feet forward to a standing forward bend with the knees slightly bent. So technically ragdoll, forward bend. Make sure your neck is just hanging. And then as you inhale, come all the way up, reach the arms up and overhead. And exhale, palms together in front of the heart, just pausing for a moment to really get rooted and feel the ground beneath your feet. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold all the way forward. Inhale and look up halfway. And exhale back down. We're going to step back with the right foot this morning. So nice deep lunge with your left foot forward. And then drop your right knee down. We're going to bring the arms up and overhead. Tilt the pelvis, lift the rib cage, let your hips move forward. Just start finding some opening in the front of that right hip. Lift the rib cage a little more if you can. See what it feels like to just slightly roll your rib cage back. It's a small movement. We're not really warmed up yet, so we're keeping it gentle. Let your arms come out to the side, palms are up. Let the thumbs reach back slightly, opening up the chest. And then bring your hands down on either side of your left foot, gaze forward. Fully extend your left leg, flexing ankle and toes. You want to kind of try and pull your heart forward and keep the shoulders down the back. From here, we're just gonna step straight back to plank. Hold your plank for a moment. And then lower down on your exhale, however you like. Coming into a nice low cobra. So you're gonna have big toes touching, but you also kind of want your heels pretty close together. We're stabilizing. Shoulders roll down the back. And you're lifting up partway. So thighs stay on the ground for cobra. They lift for upward facing dog, and you can do that after this vinyasa. Turn your toes under, downward facing dog. And just stretch, really lengthen your spine. And then let's take a big step forward with the right foot. Hold your lunge. And then from here, we're going to drop the left knee down. Go ahead and bring the arms up and overhead. Tilt your pelvis back. Let the hips move forward. Find that opening on the front of your left hip. And then lift the rib cage a little more. See if it feels okay to slightly roll it back. Again, it's a small movement. Not doing anything extreme yet, just easing into it. And then let the arms open out to the side, palms up, reach the thumbs back slightly. Hands on either side of the right foot, gaze forward, begin to extend your right leg completely. Flex the ankle and toes. Once you get that, make sure your chest is kind of pulling forward and your shoulders are pulling down the back. From here, we're going to step forward to a standing forward bend. Inhale, reach the arms all the way up and overhead, stretch up and back. Exhale, palms together in front of the heart. Inhale, reach up. Lift the chest, roll the rib cage back a little bit. Hold this. I want you to just really feel what's going on in your body here. If you feel any compression in the low back, you're going to tilt your pelvis back. Lift the chest a little higher. If it feels okay, you're not feeling compression, maybe you can roll the rib cage back a little more. Take one more breath. On your next exhale, fold all the way forward to your standing forward bend. Inhale, look up halfway. Exhale, back down. We're going to step back with the left foot, so we've got a right foot forward lunge. If you can, you're going to hold your high lunge and bring the arms up and overhead. If you need to drop that left knee down, by all means do so. Chest is lifted, hips are dropping. Just like we did a moment ago, lift the rib cage up and slightly roll it back if you can. Let the arms come out to the side, palms up, reach the hands back. Hands come down on either side of the right foot, gaze forward for that flat back. Begin to straighten your right leg. Don't concern yourself with whether or not it's perfectly straight. Try and keep your spine lengthening forward. Try and keep your shoulders relaxed. And as long as you're feeling this in your right hamstring, it's good. Take one more deep, slow inhale and exhale here. And then on your next inhale, you'll move into plank. As you exhale, you'll lower down. As you inhale, you're going to come into either cobra or upward facing dog, and I'd like you to hold here. Whichever one you're in, slight bend in the elbows, shoulders down the back, heart pulling forward. And then downward facing dog. Lengthen in your down dog, reach those hips back, reach those heels down. Left foot steps forward. Again, if you need to drop the right knee to modify, please feel free to do that. Otherwise, let's hold this high lunge. Come on up, arms are up and overhead. Pelvis tilts, hips are sinking a little bit. If you can, you're going to lift the rib cage up and slightly roll it back. Let the arms drop open, palms up, thumbs reaching back. Hands come down, either side of the left foot. You try and fully extend the left leg, but if it doesn't go straight, you're okay with that. You try and keep your spine extended, and you definitely pull the shoulders down the back. Step forward to your standing forward bend. Inhale, reach the arms all the way up and overhead. Exhale, palms together in front of the heart. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold all the way forward. Inhale, look up halfway. Exhale, back down. So you can either walk or jump back to plank position. Flow through your vinyasa. Lengthening in that down dog. And then from here, we're going to step the right foot forward, spin the left heel flat, and come up into warrior one. Remember, it's okay to adjust the feet if you need to. We want our hips pointing forward. Right knee is bent, left leg is straight, left heel is flat. In this position, pelvis tilts back, rib cage lifts, maybe it rolls back. Arms open out to the side, palms up. This time, let them continue down behind the back, interlacing fingers, squeezing shoulder blades together, maybe lifting the arms slightly. If you can, fold forward, taking right shoulder to the top of the right thigh, relaxing the neck, reaching the arms up a little more for humble warrior. Release your hands. Your left hand is either going to go on the right foot, outside of the right foot, or on the right shin. I want you to straighten your right leg. Keep your right hand at your waist and begin to lengthen your spine and revolve. Now, once you feel like your torso is revolved as you can get it, then you can take the right arm up and continue the revolution. So, letting that right arm open behind you to even get a little bit of a chest stretch, even as you're feeling this, obviously, in your right hamstring. And then from here, you're just going to bend your right knee and come back up, warrior one. A little counterbalance here. We're going to bring the right arm underneath the left and wrap the hands. Garudasana, arm position. Take a breath, pulling shoulders down, lifting the elbows up slightly, pressing them forward. And then if you can, we'll finish off the stretch. If that doesn't work for you this morning, do your best. Otherwise, let's take left thigh over right thigh, very tightly crossing the legs, dropping the tailbone, lifting the heart. Unwind your left leg, step it back, release the arms, warrior one, and then take your hands to the mat and take a vinyasa. From your downward facing dog, you're going to step forward with your left foot, spin your right heel flat, come on up, warrior one with your left foot forward. Left knee is bent, hips are rotated forward, right heel is flat. Tilt the pelvis back, maybe roll the rib cage slightly. Arms open out to the side, palms up. Let them continue down behind the back, interlacing fingers, squeezing shoulder blades together. Maybe lift the arms a little. And then if you can, you're gonna fold forward, left shoulder to left thigh, relaxing the neck, reaching the arms up for humble warrior. Now, while you're here, release your hands. Right hand is gonna go on the left foot outside of it or on the left shin. You're gonna keep your left hand at your waist, straighten your left leg. Begin the rotation from your spine. So it's like you're trying to lengthen the spine and rotate and get your left shoulder over the right. And then if you feel like you can, you're gonna take that left arm up and continue to revolve. Come all the way back up into your warrior one. Then we're gonna take the left arm on bottom, right arm on top, eagle arms, shoulders down, elbows up, press them forward. So if balance is an issue today, you can stay where you're at. Otherwise, let's finish the pose and take right thigh over left. Squeeze those thighs together, drop the tailbone, lift the heart. Unwind, right foot goes back, arms go overhead, warrior one. And then we take the hands to the mat and take a vinyasa. Lengthen in your down dog. Drop down to the knees. You're gonna bring your left forearm across the front of the mat. Let your forehead rest on your left forearm. Your right arm reaches very strongly out in front of you. So your right elbow needs to be straight. Don't let that elbow slack down onto the floor. Your elbow's off the ground. You're reaching very strongly forward and your tailbone's pulling back at the same time. And then you allow that right armpit to sort of drape down towards the mat, keeping your right arm very straight and tension in both directions. So you should feel your right armpit, right lat, right side of the chest stretching. All we're gonna do from here is now do the back side of the right side. Come back up onto hands and knees and take your right arm underneath you. Traditional threading the needle. That means your left hand stays on the ground and you roll. You use it to kind of help roll your body into that right shoulder blade stretch. Come back out on the hands and knees. Give yourself a wiggle if you need to, and then we're gonna do both of those poses on the other side. So your right forearm comes across the mat, forehead rests on the right forearm, left arm reaches very straight out in front of you. Tailbone pulls back while your left fingertips are reaching forward. Your left arm is straight, the elbow is off the ground. Your left armpit is kind of sinking down towards the mat so that you feel the stretch in the armpit, the lat, and the chest on your left side. Come back up onto hands and knees and just take that left arm underneath. Keep your right hand on the mat so that you can press and roll into that left shoulder blade. Come on up from that, hands and knees, and go ahead and just step straight into plank and go through your vinyasa. From this downward facing dog, you can either walk or jump forward to a standing forward bend. Inhale, reach the arms all the way up and overhead, stretch up and back. Exhale, palms together in front of your heart. So from here, we're gonna do one more balance pose. We're gonna play with dancer for the purpose of opening the chest. So if it's a balance challenged day, you can have one hand touching something to help with your balance. We're gonna open one side at a time. We're gonna open up the right side first. So we're gonna stand on the left foot first. And if you'll do this with an open palm grip and not rotate your hand, I've seen some really interesting variations on this. What we wanna do in this case is bring our right arm straight out to the side with the palm facing up. Just straight up, elbows pointing up, inside of the elbows pointing up, palm is pointing up. Don't do anything weird with your hand, just kind of reach back a little bit and then put your right foot into your right hand. So you're grabbing the big toe side of your right foot, your palm is facing up, thumb is behind you. Left arm is either up in the air or you can hang on to something if you need to. And what I want you to do is just push back with your right foot. Use your leg strength to open up. Front of the right shoulder, right side of the chest. Now it's fine with me if you just stay upright and push with that right foot. If you want to lean into it, you can certainly do that. But the idea is to keep continuous opening sensation on the front of your right shoulder. Take one more breath here. And then come on up. And we'll do the other side. So same thing, if you need to hang on to something with the right hand, it's fine. Be very mindful of your position of your left arm. So you should feel the head of your shoulder roll back as you rotate your left arm, palm up. Inside of the elbows, pointing straight up. All you're gonna do is reach back, put your left foot into your left hand. Right arm reaches up. Or you can hang on if you need to. And then you're just using leg strength. Push back with your left leg. Keep pressing back with that left foot until you feel the front of your left shoulder opening. You can stay upright or you can lean, but I want you to keep continuous sensation in the front of your left shoulder. And then come on up and release. Feet together, palms together. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold all the way forward. Inhale and look up halfway, and then back down. You're gonna step back to plank. You can jump back if you feel perky. Take your vinyasa. So from this downward facing dog, we're gonna drop down to the knees. We did half melting heart or half heart opener. We're gonna do the full thing now. So here's what is helpful. Keep your thighs completely vertical. So keep your hips directly over the knees. Don't let them go forward or back. Thighs stay straight up and down. Arms are fully extended and they begin to walk forward. Now, if your chest or shoulders are tight, your forehead is gonna hit the ground. If you are more open, then maybe the chest hits the ground. But we keep the arms straight and we keep the heart melting towards the mat. Come all the way up out of that. Give yourself a little wiggle. Now to counterpose that, we're gonna do rabbit. But before we do that, let me just issue a little warning. If you have neck issues, if you have a very sensitive neck, you might want to skip this, in which case you could do a traditional child's pose because that's kind of where we start. If you do choose to do it, please go into it very mindfully. It's a beautiful upper back and back of the neck stretch, but you have to make sure that your neck is okay to do it. So here's what that would look like if you choose to do it. We'll all come into a traditional child's pose, knees together, buns to heels, forehead to the floor. If you're just gonna stay in child's pose, try and have your hands back by your feet, palms up. If you're gonna move into rabbit, you grab your heels with your thumbs outside and your fingers inside. You take the top of your head, the crown of your head, as close to your knees as you can get it. And then mindfully, slowly lift your backside. Slowly come out of whichever pose you were in, step into plank. And let's take a vinyasa. So from this downward facing dog, you're going to shift forward into plank again, lower down onto your stomach. I'd like you to extend just your right arm straight out to the right with your palm facing down. Be mindful again if you have shoulder issues. So you're going to use this left hand that's still on the mat to push yourself over onto your right side with your knees bent. Right arm stays where it's at. So you're getting a right front shoulder stretch. If the left arm can, you reach it behind you with your palm facing up to mirror the right arm. If that feels okay, the right foot can come flat and that's your left foot. Left foot can come flat with the left knee pointing up. And if it really feels okay, both knees point up. You go to the point that feels best for you. Take a few breaths. And then simply come back onto your stomach. Bring your right hand underneath your right shoulder and extend your left arm out to the left with your palm flat down on the floor. It's straight out from your shoulder. Then you're going to use this right hand that's on the mat to press and roll yourself over onto your left side. If it feels okay, your right arm is going to reach back and mirror the left. If you want to go deeper, your right knee points at the ceiling as your right foot comes flat. And if you choose to, both knees can point up. One shoulder may feel very different from the other. You only go as far as you comfortably can go. You should not feel pain. You should feel a stretch, but you should not feel pain. And then come back onto your stomach. Both hands under the shoulders. Lift up into a baby cobra, and then immediately go into downward facing dog. Stretch for a moment. And then from our down dog, we're going to shift forward into plank and lower down again. And what I'd like you to do this time is just roll onto your back to the right. So right now, if you open your right arm out to the right with your palm facing up, it's on the mat. Right palm faces up. You're going to roll back on top of it, trying to keep your torso pretty much flat and evened out. Your left arm can reach along the floor over your head, so your arms are at a 90-degree angle. And you just relax your neck. So now you should be feeling the opposite of what you just felt. You're stretching behind the right shoulder blade. Easiest way to come out of this is just bring your left hand close to your shoulder, kind of lift up, take your right arm out from underneath you, and that makes it easy enough to just roll to the other side of the mat. So now you're on your back, and when you open your left arm out to the left with the palm facing up, it's on the mat, right? So we keep the left hand straight out to the side, palm up, and we roll back on top of it. Extend the right arm overhead. You're trying to get your hips and chest flat. Honor any shoulder issues that you need to, and then just breathe. You should be feeling the stretch behind your left shoulder blade. From here, just use your right hand to lift up enough to get that left arm out from underneath you. Come into a low cobra and the downward facing dog. Stretch it back. Lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. From this down dog, you can either walk or jump forward to a standing forward bend. Inhale, reach the arms all the way up and overhead. Exhale, palms together in front of the heart. Inhale, reach up, stretch. Exhale, fold forward. Hold your forward bend for a moment. So what I'd like you to do is bend your knees slightly. Put your hands on the backs of your calves with your fingers pointing down towards your heels. Bend your knees enough that your torso is on your thighs. Take a big inhale. As you exhale, I want you to curl your forehead to your shins. And then on your next inhale, you're going to come all the way up, reach the arms up and back. And as you exhale, palms together in front of your heart. So I'm going to challenge you today to come to your seated position from here. And we're just going to play with some functional stuff. And this is different for everybody. Maybe you've heard of the sit and rise test. It has to do with whether you can get down and get up without using hands and knees. Getting down is usually a little bit easier. And you do it with crossed legs. If you have knee and ankle issues, it can be a little more of a challenge. But we're just going to work on the getting down part today. So if you can, what that kind of looks like is you cross your ankles, you bend your knees. And the idea is that you're coming to a seated position without using hands or knees. Do your best. See how you did. If you used a hand or a knee, then the goal would be to eventually get to the point where you don't. We'll go ahead and extend the legs now and come into Dandasana. So find your sit bones, put your hands right beside your backside to help push into the floor to give you a straight spine. Balance your head on top of your spine, relax your shoulders, activate your legs, and take this opportunity to check in. Once you've checked in with your body, your breath, your mind, your heart, and your energy, I want you to take a big inhale, raise your arms up and overhead, and as you exhale, just lengthen out over your legs, relax your shoulders, and then relax your neck. So you might get a little bit of a back stretch along with your hamstring stretch here. And then come on up from that. Bring your hands a decent amount behind you. So you're kind of leaning back at a little bit of an angle. And then I want you to actually hunch your back. So you're literally letting your neck collapse, letting your head sink into your shoulders. And once you do that, just let the head drop back. It shouldn't go very far. Your upper back muscles are stopping your neck or supporting it. So as you're here, you're just going to roll your head side to side, nice and slow. And what you should feel is that you've got this mutual massage thing happening. So your upper back is massaging your neck, and your neck is massaging your upper back. So as you're doing these side to side head rolls, you have contact. Your head is never just hanging in space. Your neck is always supported. We're going to go a couple more times in each direction. And then as you feel ready, just press yourself back up. We're going to keep the left leg straight to begin with. I want you to bring your right foot across your left thigh with the right foot flat. Keep your left leg straight. We're going to begin with a twist to the right, but we're going to stretch as we go. So I want you to take your right arm up in the air, reach it way around behind you as far as you can. So you feel a little bit of a stretch on the front of your right shoulder. And then lift the spine and twist. And if you want, you can take left elbow outside of right knee or thigh. But ideally, you're feeling a little something on the right side of your chest and shoulder here. Head is turned to the right and you're breathing. Rotate back around. We're going to pick the right foot up and extend it straight up. Your left leg is going to stay out, so there's a little bit of core involved here. Lifting the chest, flexing right ankle, take the legs straight up. And then take it way out to the right. Interlace your fingers behind your back, lift your chest, press the chest forward. Legs are active. Release your hands. Take your right hand either onto your right shin or inside of it. You're going to take a big side bend to the right. Left arm is going to reach up and overhead, kind of like you're trying to hit those right toes. Doesn't matter if you do or not, but roll the chest open. Get a good side stretch here. Maybe still feel it in the lats a little bit on that left side. And then we're just going to come up and take this right leg with us and bring it back to the center. Now we keep the right leg straight. Left foot crosses, right thigh, left foot flat. We're going to come into that spinal twist, but I want you to stretch the shoulders as well. So reach your left arm up, reach it way around behind you, and then complete your twist. You're welcome to continue just holding your left knee or shin, or you can bring the right arm outside of it. But as you're looking over your left shoulder, you should be feeling some stretching and opening in the left side of the chest, left front shoulder. And as you come back around to the front, you're just going to pick your left leg up. Remember, this is a little bit of core because I don't want you plunking over backwards. Your right leg is straight. So we're going to extend the left leg, lift the chest, stretch for a moment. And then we're going to take this left leg way out to the left. Interlace the fingers again, lift the chest, chest presses forward, legs are active. Same thing we did on the other side. Come on up from that, release the hands. Left hand can either grab left shin or it can be on the floor inside the left leg. Right arm is going to reach up and over now for that nice deep side bend. Opening chest out, maybe even getting a little something in the lats. And then we'll just bring this left leg back around, give both legs a good wiggle. From here, we're gonna roll onto our backs, hug the knees into the chest, rock side to side a little bit. Keep your hands kind of on the front part of the knees or even at the top of the shins. As you exhale, squeeze your knees deeply into your chest. As you inhale, press the knees away till you feel your upper back stretch. Exhale, knees into the chest. Inhale, knees away from the chest, stretching the upper back. Do that one more time. Exhale, pull your knees in. Inhale, press them away. And then you can release your legs. You're going to put your feet flat on the mat. Big toes are touching, heels are separating. We are coming into bridge pose. So what I'd like you to do is start with your hands flat, palms down, maybe even barely touching your heels with your fingertips. And then before you lift your hips, see if from this position, you can slightly roll the shoulder blades underneath you. You'll feel it. You'll feel like your shoulder blades are pinned together underneath you, and you'll feel like the backs of the arms are really engaged onto the mat. Let's lift from here. So the hips start to lift, they continue to lift, and then the rib cage lifts. Now, if you're happy in this position, stay here. If you prefer, interlace the fingers and get even more shoulder opening, but the arms have to be straight, pressing into the mat if your fingers are interlaced. So we're lifting the chest.
We want to get stretched not only on the front of the hips, but the front of the shoulders. Keep breathing. Try and breathe high into your chest. And then on your next exhale, slowly lower down. Hug your knees into your chest and rock side to side. So with the knees still kind of pulled into the chest, I want you to roll all the way over onto your right side. Your knees should be vertically stacked and touching, and we're going to be particular about maintaining that alignment. Your arms are straight out in front of your chest, palms are touching. So if you look at your knees, they're together and straight up and down. Your left leg is not behind your right leg. Maintain this, very important. All I want you to do is start opening your left arm back out to the left. Now, if you have tight shoulders like I do, what my body wants to do is let this left leg just slide back. So I flop on the ground, but there's no value in that. So I'm going to keep my knees together, which for me means my left arm is actually hanging in space as I turn my head to the left. But what happens here is that gravity and the weight of my arm is just perfect for opening up front of the left shoulder, left side of the chest. Now, if you're very flexible, you're going to have your knees stacked on the right side of your body, and your left arm will be flat on the left side of your body. And that's beautiful. That's what most of us are striving for. If that's you, you get to just lay here and breathe into the left shoulder. One more breath here. Go ahead and roll onto your back. Hug your knees in. You can rock side to side if you like. And then we're going to do the same thing in the other direction. So what I'd like you to do is keep your knees hugged into your chest, but roll all the way over onto your left side. Same thing, your knees are perfectly stacked and they are together. You don't let them separate. You don't let the right one slide back. Your arms are extended in front of you at the level of your heart. And all you're going to do is open your right arm out to the right. Let your head turn to the right with it. Keep your knees stacked over on the left side of your body. And then breathe. So again, if your arm is up in the air like mine is, the beautiful thing is you can watch each exhale take it closer to the ground. If you're highly flexible and everything's on the ground, then as you breathe, you'll just get to feel your muscles release a little more. On your next inhale, come on back up. And as you exhale, just hug both of your knees into your chest. Rock side to side. Right knee is going to stay hugged into the chest. Left leg extends out. Just a quick turn in Pavanamuktasana. Couple of breaths and we'll switch legs. Go ahead and bring left knee up, extend right leg out. Hug that left knee in deeply. Bring your right knee back up to meet left. Roll side to side if you want to. And then I'd like you to put your feet on the mat. Let the knees drop open with the soles of the feet together. Let your arms be up and over your head on the floor. You're going to interlace your fingers and extend your index fingers straight overhead, like you're pointing along the floor over your head. The next time you breathe in, I'd like you to press your knees down towards the ground. You'll feel your glutes tighten, but also reach through the fingertips. You're going to feel your rib cage lift. Breathe here for 3 slow, deep breaths. On your next exhale, you're going to release all the tension in your body. Let your hands go ahead and slide down below your heart, palms up, kind of like preparing for Shavasana, but we're going to keep the soles of the feet together for another moment or two, because now we're going to lengthen the low back muscles. So as you inhale, press your low back into the mat. Hold it while you breathe normally. So you're just doing a posterior tilt of the pelvis. This helps lengthen erector spinae, which are the muscles that run on either side of your spine. The next time you exhale, just release. Let that natural curve come into your back. Then inhale, flatten the low back one more time. Hold it while you breathe. And the next time you exhale, release. Begin to extend your legs, separate your feet. Wiggle if you need to, lengthen your spine, relax your jaw. So just getting ourselves ready for Shavasana. Shoulders are relaxed, eyes are closed. Let everything go. And then when you're ready, take a deep breath in through your nose. And exhale any remaining tension out with a big sigh. Just let it all go. Give your body permission to just kind of melt into the floor. Give your body permission to take over control of the breath. So if you've been maintaining that controlled Ujjayi yoga breathing, let that go. And then just take a moment to feel into the entirety of your upper torso. I want you to feel your stomach and low back, sides of the waist, rib cage all the way around 360 degrees. Feel your armpits. Feel your shoulders, front, top, and back. Just really feel into your whole torso. Bring particular awareness now to the upper torso, around the chest and the shoulders and upper back. So this was our area of focus today. And I'd like you to just be really objective, not judgmental, but just observant. Does it feel as though you have anything remaining in that area? And by that I mean not only maybe muscle tightness or stiffness, do you have anything remaining energetically? You have to be very objective to just witness without any sense of attachment. Hopefully the answer is no. There's nothing left. Everything's been cleared. If you do feel anything, I want you to just be curious about it, compassionately curious about it. Is it muscular? Is it joint related? Is it perhaps energetic, meaning stress related? And stress can often be things that we put on ourselves, right? Our thoughts create our emotions. Our emotions create legitimate physical changes. So even though our thoughts aren't real, our emotions and their effects are. So that's why it's very helpful sometimes to examine our thoughts.
So anytime there is remaining tension, tightness, stress, or anything of that nature around the upper torso, it can be useful to ask yourself, what am I carrying energetically? Is it even mine to carry? Can I put it down, even temporarily? Is it serving some other purpose? And that can be an interesting one to ask. Does it make you feel self-righteous to carry more than your share? Is it a form of self-punishment? Or is it simply a lack of boundaries? Or maybe there's nothing there. These are just ideas. I want you to just be curious about the whole thing. So keep your awareness in your upper torso. If it feels completely cleared and completely open, I want you to just savor that. Just rest in that sense of freedom. If it feels as though there's anything there, I want you to just keep being curious about it. Maybe it's purely physical. Maybe it's not. Just witness your current state in your upper torso. Notice if at any point in the process you have been judgmental. And if you do recognize that, it's okay. So none of these things are designed to create suffering, but rather to release it. We just start watching ourselves. And when we start paying attention to what we do with our mind, we can find there's usually a direct correlation to what's going on in the body. And we can just be curious and compassionate and correct. So as you're finishing up this observation, recognize that it's completely within your power to correct any faulty thoughts or judgments or criticisms. It's in your power to correct things energetically as well as physically. And just begin to move your fingers and toes. Begin to deepen your breath. When it feels like the right time, take that extra deep inhale, spread your fingers and toes. Exhale with a sigh as you relax them. Take another deep breath in, stretch your body in whatever way feels really good to you. And then again, exhale and relax. Bend your knees. Roll to your right side. Press yourself up into sitting. As you come to your seated position, just find that nice aligned spine. Just kind of settle into it. So your seated position should always be steady and comfortable. Just take a breath or two to check in one more time with your body, your mind, your heart, your energy. And then today's breath work, our pranayama, we're going to do Chandra Vedana, which is a lunar breath. We have a new moon coming up. Pardon me. So with your left hand, you can do any mudra if you feel drawn to it. Otherwise, left hand can just rest palm up or palm down on your left knee or thigh. Your right hand is either going to come into Vishnu Mudra, which is to tuck the first two fingers under the pad of the thumb so that those bent fingers, those knuckles, can rest under your nostrils. Your right thumb is by your right nostril, your ring and pinky finger are by the left, and that way you can block. If that's awkward, first two fingers of the right hand can rest in the center of the forehead. Either way, your right thumb is going to block your right nostril. That'll be your inhale. Your ring and pinky finger are going to block the left nostril. That will be your exhale. So in other words, every single breath, you're inhaling through your left nostril, you're exhaling through your right. Every breath, inhale left, exhale right. No particular length, just beautiful, yummy yoga breaths. Off you go, inhaling left, exhaling right, every single breath. One more full inhale and exhale this way. Inhaling left, exhaling right. As you finish out your breath, let your right hand rest down as well. And I'd like you to just sit in silence for just a few breaths, just kind of soaking in the benefits not only of your practice, but of your relaxation and your pranayama, your breath work. Slowly bring your palms together in front of your heart. Take a moment in gratitude. Gratitude for this body that you currently inhabit, that is truly miraculous in nature. Gratitude for your breath that animates your body, that brings in the prana, the life force. Gratitude for your intellect. Gratitude for the higher consciousness that is able to observe all of that, the thoughts, the emotions, the body, etc. And finally, gratitude for that which created you, for that life force that runs not only through you, but through everything that connects you to the whole. Take one more huge breath in. Big exhale through the mouth. Bringing palms to the forehead, we're reminded to stay present. Bringing palms to the lips, we're reminded to speak our truth. Bringing palms to the heart, we're reminded to feel gratitude, to feel love
kindness, and compassion for all things because we're all connected. Thank you for joining me this morning. Namaste.